Well, we are only 1 hour late.
But well, it's not my fault, huh? You talk for about 1 hour and a half.
I know, it's my fault, I apologize. But we take just a couple of questions, I think, very quickly. We have, I see 4 hands. Let's take only those 4 that came up. Let's start with Dr. Sela, I believe.
Is it desirable that there should be a kind of equilibrium in, if Argentina sends a lot of cattle to Europe, which costs in terms of water so and so much, is it desirable that there should be an import of grain to Argentina with a similar number of water? Is there a problem of equilibrium there?
In terms of water, it could be or it could not be. But let's face reality. Those things are policy issues, okay? When NAFTA is implemented in the States, you immediately have the arrows between Mexico and the United States changing. And so people say, what the hell is going on? You know, from the virtual water trade, this doesn't make any sense. But that's implemented. At least you can tell the policymakers, you implement it, but what we are getting is this. So, and then they may take the decision, you know. I'm just a hydrologist.
Okay, I think Dr. Brown and then Dr. Caffarelli.
Yeah.
No?
Thank you. This is important work. A general comment, in the sustainability research communities and environmental communities, there's a strong sentiment against trade. But a resource-scarce world will have to trade more to distribute scarcities, so that I think your work underlines that. I would say, however, that trading water, the same applies to trading implicitly land, matters only if scarcity is factored in.
If it's scarcity of water, you mean?
Yeah, so it matters only, say, if, it doesn't matter if Italy imports wheat from Germany, but it matters if Italy imports irrigated rice from Egypt.
That's correct.
And so I think we need to factor in scarcity and correct the gross water trade to net water trade corrected for scarcity.
No, that has been done. I didn't show that, but that is taken precisely into account. And the best example of that, in fact, is Saudi Arabia, an example of Saudi Arabia, you know, in which it then makes a lot of sense. But again, you know, if Brazil imports or exports, you know, have plenty of water. And if they are importing or exporting with Ecuador, we also have, you know, I don't care very much. As you say, you know, it has to be weighted by that, right? I agree.
We have one last question, Dr. Phillips, I believe.
So I'm a bit confused about the idea of trade leading to water savings. The idea being that if you export from a country that is more efficient in its use of water to a country that's less efficient, then you'll have savings. And you showed that we have net savings. But it seems to me that the kind of thing I would expect is that countries with lots of water would be the exporters of water, and countries with lots of waters would be the ones who are least efficient because they don't need to be efficient. So I would expect trade to lead to a net water loss rather than a net water gain. So why is it the other way?
Well, you know, there are specific cases in which there is a net water loss, and a bad one, okay? And, but all in all, you know, for example, China, take the example of China, which is a lot of people. The lack of water there, well, the lack of water, yes. The northern place, which most of the agriculture is located. The aquifers are, the river is polluted badly, okay? And the aquifers, both aquifers are very depleted. Near Beijing, you have 1,000 feet wells. And, you know, exportation, there are three transfers of water from the south. But you have to bring the water from somewhere else. It's more of a need than anything else. If there is no need, it's your point. You know, you say, well, you know, there are other issues, you know, like NAFTA or whatever. Maybe. But there are cases in which is this just absolute need. Take the case of Egypt. You know, you don't have more water. You have a population that, in this case, very large. You have to export it where you are going to export it from? From countries that can themselves, because an enormous quantity of water, be very able to give you whatever a good price in the exportation. So all in all, it tends to save water. Now, there are specific cases it will not. It will be a disaster. But all in all, tends to save water. In fact, water is nowadays the controlling factor in the trade of food. As long, well, yes, from a natural point of view, of course, you have to pay for the food.
Okay, I think we should thank the speakers and go for lunch. I don't know if we deserve it, but we'll go anyhow.